Welcome to Raw Talk. As always, a couple of links down below in the description box to credit WWE for piecing together the video recap that's about 10 minutes long and the text results. I'm going to try to get through this as quick as possible. This took place in good old Dallas, Texas, somewhere I wish I could go, and maybe I'll visit someday if the funding allows it. Almost 16,000 in attendance. We had Michael Cole with Wade Barrett as guest commentary, as Pat McAfee was busy with some college championship football game. They really should have brought Corey Graves, but you know what? We're not going to get back into that. For now, Nia Jax backstage quickly ambushed Rhea Ripley. Jey Uso came out while Cole was dancing, which was actually really funny because he really looked like a old drunk grandpa, which funny enough is kind of within a word or two what Wade Barrett compared him to. He really is over big time, isn't he? So Sami says he's going to do something, and then Gunther comes out and insults Jey. Basically says, what, you think you're just going to come out here and win the championship? You're too much of a dork, this, that, and the other thing. But then Jey reminds him, I'm the only one that's ever main evented WrestleMania, and you have not. Small brawl for a few moments. There was no security. There was no need for that shit. Then backstage, we had JBL, who ended up doing guest commentary during Rey Mysterio's match, which I personally really enjoyed. He was chatting with the New Day, and basically JBL kind of threw a quick couple of jabs of insults towards the New Day, and then they slipped a $2 bill inside of JBL's pocket and said, you can keep that. And that's where I was hoping Ron Simmons was going to come out and be like, bam! It didn't happen, but in my brain, it did. Okay? So then JBL came out for the commentary. We had Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston. Their last match together was 16 years ago. It was a nice match. I love seeing Rey perform at this high level of whatever you want to call it, just at a high level. Like, I mean, I seriously feel like he hasn't lost a beat. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just so grateful that he's still around. He's 50 years old. Whereas Penta, to talk about luchadors, is 39. So 11 years younger. Xavier interferes a little bit. And then they attacked Rey post-match. So the LWO comes out to help out Rey. Little bit of a scuffle there momentarily. Oh boy. Karrion Kross. Oh, we'll get to that in a moment. Karrion Kross quickly discussed that he'd love to get into it with either Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, or CM Punk now that the Wyatt Six have moved on to SmackDown and they're no longer feuding with them, which I still think was a mistake. I still wanted to see a little bit more out of those two factions before they moved on, but it is what it is. And then this, for me, was bar none. By a long shot, this was the highlight of the entire night for me. Finally seeing Sami Zayn come face to face with Kevin Owens. And what was really nice that is Sami in ring. Oh yeah, first of all, Sami was talking about how he's top tier, he's championship material. He doesn't need the championship to complete him, but he wants it. Doesn't need it, but he wants it. KO comes out, and I'm just like I wrote, holy shit balls. KO tells Sami that, you know what, he deserves to win. He deserves to become champion. And if Kevin Owens wins at the Royal Rumble, I thought he was going to pull the whole thing of like, you know, you can pick me as a champion like he did on the last show where he's like, hey, then you could pick me. And then Ray's like, well, you're not the champion. Remember? You're an illegitimate champion. So that's not what happened. He's like, you know what? You're a good person. And it was really nice. He didn't attack him or anything like that. He's like, we're more than friends. We're like brothers. And how many times have I screwed you? Give or take is more or less what he said. He said you didn't look past it. You didn't look over it. but you did forgive me. And you forgave Roman. So at first he was mad because Sami aligned with Roman. Remember that Kevin Owens wants to go after everybody that's ever aligned with Roman because of what he's done to him. But you have to also understand that Sami also came to the aid of Kevin Owens when things got really out of hand with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. So there's that camaraderie there between them. That's a bond. You talk about KO and Randy Orton. You talk about Randy Orton and YOLO Bro, Matt Riddle. But arguably, or that time Kevin Owens had the Festival of Friendship with Chris Jericho. But the longest reigning championship reign in WWE, arguably, would be these two. A quarter of a century, 25 years together. So this right here is a story in the making. At the Royal Rumble, I actually wouldn't be opposed. It's like, okay, Cody, love you to death, but you know what? Bitch, you finished your story. It's time to close the book and start a new chapter of a new book, and that's the KO era. I would not be opposed. I'm going to say it right now. Imagine Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn main eventing for the championship. This way it would give Kevin Owens a title run for, a good couple of months until WrestleMania. I'm not saying who should win it at that point, but I'm just saying those two for the championship would be something to behold. So there you go. Not mad at Sami again for teaming Roman. Yeah, because KO wrong. Yeah. So there you have it. So Sami... No, we're done with Sami, sorry. Nia Jax defeats Bayley. Sunset flip from Bayley on the apron, flinging Nia into the post. That was definitely, for me, the highlight of that match. It was just like something else. And then this was pretty good, too, when Rhea Ripley came out. Nia, I have to admit, as much as it's Nia, she does her persona really, really well. She's believable. Bayley, by the way, is now officially part of the Raw roster because there's that whole, draft or whatever. They're not doing it like back in the old days where they like spin a ball and you grab and then you move to SmackDown or Raw. They're just doing it a little bit differently here. But then after that match, Rhea Ripley is when she came out to attack Nia. Right after the match, not to interfere during the match. And that resulted, obviously, the motivation behind that was probably because at the very, very beginning of the show, before anything started, Nia just randomly attacked Rhea Ripley. So this makes complete sense. Of course, the useless security comes out. They can't do a goddamn thing. Okay? So that's that. Penta defeats Pete Dunne in his second match, now on Raw in the WWE. I said that I like Penta, but for a luchador, however, I have to admit, it's not that I'm not impressed with him. People go, oh my God, did you just say that? Here, let me have a sip of my coffee. I'm just, I like him. I don't know anything about him apart from the two matches that I've seen. I like Pete Dunne. I really missed the Brawling Brutes. I think him not being in there with Ridge Holland and that accident, don't forget that's what broke Big E's neck, by the way. Speaking of the New Day and all that, it's because of Ridge Holland. Not to keep bringing that up, but I really feel like once the Brawling Brutes, that little faction broke apart, I just don't like Pete Dunne as a heel. I really, really don't. I much preferred him as a face, and I kind of feel like he's kind of lost in the mix. It sounds rude, but he's a very, very capable contender. He's really good. I think he's underestimated sometimes. Kind of like, JD McNugget, to be honest with you. Or McNugget. I joke around so much about calling JD McDonough McNugget. I went to be all serious, like, you know what? JD McNugget, he's really good. He's got the sauce. Got the barbecue sauce or the zesty. Anyhow, I got to admit, for a luchador, because of the hype, it's because of the hype that I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not impressed with Penta as much as I thought I would be, given the crazy hype we've been given. Does that make sense? I didn't say he's not good. I didn't say I don't like him, that I don't appreciate him. But we got all this hype about him, and then I saw him and I went, it's good. It's really good. But I felt like he's been a little overhyped. You could agree with me or disagree. It's really not a big deal. I'm just here to share with you my useless thoughts on that. But overall, yeah, this was a pretty good match. Then we had CM Punk in kind of like in the stand, this sort of like a newer thing that's been going on lately where you're kind of like with the crowd on one of the like the railings. They used to do this back in the 80s and 90s, by the way. Something similar to this here. And it was basically talking about winning the Royal Rumble and just winning and just having fun. Go ahead and click on it to see it for yourself. Now, this was fun. Io Sky and Dakota Kai defeat Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. I just don't see that faction, Pure Fusion Collective. It's a weird fucking name. It's a weird group, and for some reason, I just can't really get behind it, to be perfectly honest with you. I can't always necessarily put into words why I feel a certain way about certain things. It's literally, and it could be a cop-out, but I'm just going to be honest. It's the whole vibe. It's the whole aura of it. However, to contradict myself a little bit, like when it comes to Io and Dakota, oh yeah, right on. They have some singles matches, they have some tag team matches, they have a little bit of both, and I love it. Damage control. Shayna Baszler, I've told you from the very beginning when she came from NXT. No. Did she come from NXT? Anyways, from the beginning, and Zoe Stark when she just came to Raw recently, like in recent history, right? I said right from the first moment I saw her, I said, wow, she's really good. She's going to be something. And I missed the times where she was with the whole Trish Stratus thing and thank you, Trish. Remember that whole thing? And then she just kind of disappeared, but whatever. I don't know. That whole Pure Fusion, yeah, not into it. But these four ladies for the women's division, oh, absolutely, these are some of my favorite. And I think I've said that from the beginning, except for Dakota. I've been critical with Dakota, and in my mind, it was rightfully justified because I would look at somebody like the other three ladies that were in this matchup, and I would compare them to Dakota Kai in terms of like the awkwardness, the hesitancy, it looking like it's the word just slipped, choreographed. Like you could tell it was choreographed, or looked at. And I feel like she's gotten so much better in just the last little bit. I'm like, where did that come from? Now, I know she was injured for quite a while. I've seen a lot of people come back from injury, and they're not rusty. I've seen some people that time and time again always look a little bit kind of like awkward or look hesitant, and it looks, again, telegraphed, choreographed, whatever word you want to use, and you can kind of like see it, and that breaks the immersion of giving you the illusion that this is all like, not choreographed. So anyway, so my point was, once again, I've been proven correct that Dakota Kai is absolutely doing much, much better. Like, just so much more fluid. And I'm just like, you know what? Good for her. That's awesome. Like, that's really, really great to see. Because not everybody, no matter how much they train, will get better. Some will never really improve, or they will a little bit. And that's where talent comes in versus skill. Talent, you'll just kind of naturally pick up on it. Some people are just great like that. And then skill, is something that you develop. You could be talented and unskilled, which might sound funny. In other words, you didn't really work hard for it. You're just naturally gifted. So to me, you're more talented than skilled. Skill is something you got to develop. You've got to really mold yourself into it. And it could mean that you're not talented in the sense that, heck, it could have taken you 10 times longer than anybody else to get to the level where, quote unquote, the average would get to, but you still ended up getting there. So you still have the skill. That was a bit of a weird rant, but whatever. So this was great. Like I said, I enjoyed this. And then Seth Rollins does defeat Drew McIntyre. Of course, this was a great match. And then post-match, Sammy takes out Drew McIntyre, who attacked Rollins post-match when he laid his head near the post. And then Sami Zayn accidentally haluva kicked Seth Rollins in the face. But he tells him right here, as you could watch if you want to, he tells him, look, I wasn't aiming for you. And you could see Seth really not like angry towards Sammy. Like, why would he kick him in the face when he came out to help him to begin with. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Plus, you could just look back at the tape, which is why in subsequent playthroughs, if you want to use that word of Raw and or SmackDown or any other promotion or any other brand, when you have an instance like this where somebody accidentally gets hit, and then the next week they're like, how could you do that, man? You kicked me in the face, man. It's like, bitch, did you watch the footage? You know what I mean? Like, you could clearly see what's going on. So that has always been a bit of a facepalm moment for me. But whatever. So there you have it. I tried to make this in under 10 minutes or less, and it did not work. I failed. I don't know how I always manage these 15 plus freaking minute videos. I mean, the official recap's not even that long. The whole idea is I'm supposed to summarize the full recap. It is what it is. It's not like I don't enjoy doing this, because I do. Yeah, I'm really tired. Thumbs up as always if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm and trying to make me a little bit more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up online. You didn't like the video? That's fine. Go ahead. Give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half, twist it. I won't break it off inside of your ass this time. No. We're going to put you face first against the top turnbuckle. And you're going to get a Sami Zayn haluva kick right in the ass with your own thumb in there. Why did I picture that? That's disgusting. Anyhow, moving on. If you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally, that would be great. But if not, trust me, I don't blame you. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And perhaps if I'm lucky, I shall see some of you in the next video. Bye for now.